Welcome back to the Avenue. And for my returning viewers, thank you for coming in. And to the new viewers, thank you especially for showing up today. We got a good one for you, so hang on to your hat for this one. Because the big question for this year is, where do I put my money in 2026? We've seen the stock market go up. We've seen the stock market go down. Everybody's, things are crazy. We don't know what interest rate's going to be from one month to the next. Everything is kind of up in the air. So people want to know, where can I put my money to make the most that I can? We're going to help you with that question today. So stay tuned.
She's a go-getter, alright. What a beautiful sight. Anything she sets her mind to, she stays on it day and night. She writes the checks, she signs the deeds. She plants the fruitful seeds and still finds the time to meet all her family needs.
Needless to say, things have shifted quite a bit in the financial economy out there. So we used to be in a time a couple of years ago where you could put your money in any tech stock and it would just go up just almost overnight, right? But we're not in that time anymore. Things have kind of settled down. Some of the tech stock that was out there may not still be around. You may have lost quite a bit on it. And just to let you know that this is not financial advice, so do your own research. I'm not giving financial advice. This is just being financially aware of what's out there right now. So, but do your own research. Whatever I say, go do your own research so that you can either gain or lose from your own research and not what Adrienne says. But it is a time that people are concerned about their money, which as I am concerned about my money too. So I have shifted from not necessarily trying to get the most I possibly can out of my money, but I want cash flow and I want more safety in these waters that are a little wavery right now because we don't know which way it's going to go. Now, it always is a good idea to invest in solid companies. Go on and read about the companies, see how they are with debt, see how their income is coming in. What new innovations do they have coming out of the company? Does it still make sense to be there? What's the CEO like? What is his ratings? Who's around? Are they number one or number two in that industry? That's important too, because if they're not in the top two or three, it may be a little shaky if you're buying stock in that. And then we also know that there's a real estate market, but the focus and the concentration is with these wavery waters is to shift it from let's get as much as I possibly can to more of security and cash flow. So we're going to talk about that. Now, even in a secure environment for your money, financially secure, you don't want it just sitting in a bank, not making very much, 0.01, 0.02 interest rate. That some of these national banks, that's what they're paying you to have your money in there. There are still banks out there, you all, the high yielding savings account banks that are in the upper threes and some that's in the fours. One I will share with you later on that's in the fives. And you need to check all these out because you want to make sure they are FDIC insured. Also, there may be some stipulations as to how much you need to put in these accounts in order to get that interest rate. And some of them are limited. You can only put so much in there to get that interest rate. If you put more in there, the interest rate will change to something else. But there are banks out there. If you do the research, they're out there. And I've done the research for you. So just hold on. I'll release them to you. But there are banks out there that you can still get 4% and above interest. They're all online banks, though. And I bank with, as a matter of fact, I bank with one of them. But they're giving you that amount. And that is a good thing because as long as the 4% stays above inflation, you're still making some off of your money. It is secure. You're not making a lot because we know, with risk comes reward, right? So if you put it in the stock market, you can risk everything, but you can make more because there's a reward on the other side. But if you need money, you need it liquid, you need it safe, this is one area that you still want to look at and be wise with your money. Take it out of these bank accounts that's paying you 0.01, 0.02. You shouldn't have the bulk of your money in there. Now, if you want to keep a few $100s in there, that's on you. But the bulk of your money that's safe, secure, and making you the most it possibly can, every dollar should be working for you all. I'm still a firm believer in every dollar needs to be put to work to do something, right? Nothing should be sitting idly anywhere. So make sure your dollars are working for you. But the high yield savings accounts are still out there, and I will share those with you a little later. If you want a guaranteed rate, there are some CDs out there that can pay, up in the high threes, 3.75, 3.95, that type of thing, and it will lock you in for a certain amount of time. So if the interest rates do happen to fall, you will still be locked into that interest that they promised you and guaranteed you for that length of time. It may be 6 months, it may be 9 months, it may be a year, but if you're not sure that interest rates are still going to remain high and they will not fall, you may want to do something like this. Now, when your money's locked in, it's not as liquid until that expires, right? If you take it out ahead of time, you may get probably hit with some penalties, right? So you'll lose some of that money that that's in there to make money for you. So I would say if there's a certain amount that you're not going to use for the next 6 months or 9 months that absolutely, I'm not going to do anything with this money, and you want to lock it in, you can lock it into an interest rate that may be more suitable, just in case the interest rates start to fall and these high yield saving bank accounts adjust those interests, because they can adjust them at any time. And when the interest rates start to fall, they start to bring what they're paying in interest down also. It just makes sense. Okay, if you want to invest for growth, okay, we will turn to the stock market, index funds, dividends, growth funds, all of that. You can do your research on those, but that's where you put your money if you want to invest for growth. And as you can see, all the money doesn't have to be put in one place. If you have $1,000, you can split it up into several different accounts. You can invest some, you can put some in CDs, and then you can put some somewhere else in the high yield savings accounts. Now, most CDs require about $1,000, so you may need to have more money in there to invest than just $1,000. But if you have, let's say, $10,000, you can split it out so that you can feel secure, but you can also feel like your money is making the absolute most that it can make for you in the stock market. Another area that you can invest in, of course, is in real estate. There are rental properties still out there producing. There are new homes, like if you want to purchase something. Here in Texas, the new homes are the best deals that you can get out there. Their interest rates are lower than what a normal bank interest rate is. Right now at this recording, interest rates are hovering around 6%, right? But some of these home builders have inventory sitting on the ground and they were offering 3.99%. So you get a better deal then, and the cost of the house they're still reasonable right now. Once the interest rates start to drop a little bit, and a lot of these people that are waiting to buy houses come off the sidelines, and the housing prices will go up. Once the house prices go up, you cannot adjust the house price. You can always adjust the interest rate, but you cannot adjust the house price. So take that in consideration too. But those are two other areas that if you want to grow your money and invest your money, that you want to look into. A couple of more things about the real estate market. There are a lot of people that are downsizing. With the economy like it is, if you have a big house, that's a big house payment probably, big taxes, big insurance. And if you find that, I can downsize, the kids have left the house, I want to be closer to the grandkids, anything like that, you can also downsize. Sell your house and move into something that's more suitable for you, where the actual tax amount is going to be less, the insurance is going to be less, utilities probably going to be less, and it's more suitable. So you'll have more money coming in that you can use for other things and not on the house itself. So people are doing that. Another area that you may want to check into, because there's a lot of people not necessarily 100% leaving the United States, but they're buying in other countries where it's a little more cost efficient, more cost effective to buy in another country. Now, you would need to go visit that country, see what they have to offer. And there are realtors over there. I don't deal in foreign countries, but there are realtors that will help you buy in a foreign country. And even if you buy a house over there and you want to rent it out for the time that you're not spending there, you can get money from, rental income from that, right? So you can have a place in a different country that if you want to go to every summer or every so often, you can go over there and just relax, get a break from the United States and then come back when you want to. Some people eventually move to these other countries and they already have the houses. Now, take in consideration and keep in mind as people are moving over to these other countries with the housing costs right now pretty reasonable, they're going to start going up. So if you're considering this, it may be a good idea to go ahead and check it out, see if that's something that you may want to do, see what the prices are. It doesn't hurt to ask or find someone that will help you in this area so that you know what your options are if this is something that you're thinking about. Now, before I get to what you really want to hear, which are the latest banks that I've researched and found the highest interest rates on, hit that like button and that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on the latest information as I'm bringing it to you. This is valuable. I've done the research, you guys, like I do probably once a year. I go research these banks to see, okay, where's the highest interest rates, just in case I need to move my money somewhere else too. I have no problems moving my money from one bank to the other if they're offering a higher interest rate, or if that bank has gone down so much in the interest that I'm not really making enough money, enough interest on my money. I want it working as hard as it can possibly work. You know how I am. So we've covered a lot, and probably the better question this year is, instead of saying where should I put my money, the question should be, what do I want my money to do for me? Do I want it to grow? Do I want a steady income coming in? How do I want my money to work for me? That's probably a better question, because that will lead to exactly where you put that money. And I told you I was going to give you the answers to exactly where you put the money once you know what you want your money to do for you. If you're in the younger generation and you want it to grow, stock market may be something that you want to look at. If you're more in the seasoned generation and you want cash flow, or you want to preserve and protect your money, you may want to put it in a high yield savings account that will give you that protection but still give you a certain amount of growth. So what do you want your money to do for you? Once you answer that question, then you'll know exactly where you can put your money. Now, let's get to those banks. Okay, so these banks, let me just tell you, I'm going to give you the names, I'm going to give you the interest rates, but you will need to go in and find out if they're FDIC protected, insured. Most of them are, but when you hear something that, oh, I like that, I want to check it out, go do your research and find out if there is a minimum amount that you need to put in there, if there's a maximum amount that you cannot go over to get this particular interest rate. Some of them you have to put a certain amount in every month, so they want a direct deposit going into those accounts. Check all of that out. Check the customer service, check the ratings on these banks, because I can't ensure and tell you 100% that it's a great bank to put it in. If you do that, customer service is great, you're always going to get a great response. Check out how long it's going to take you to get your money out when you put it in, or how long it's going to take you for your money to go to your bank over to these high yield savings accounts. So check all of those out. Some of these banks require you have a checking and a savings account. Check that out too. So there's a lot to check out. So let's get to those banks. The first bank that I'm going to tell you about is New Tech Bank. New Tech Bank offers 4.25% interest on their savings account. AXOS Bank offers 4.21%. Open Bank offers 4.09%, and I think they have a $500 minimum. VO Bank offers 4.03%. Peak Bank offers 4.02%, and I think they have a $100 minimum. Vero Bank offers, you have to have two accounts. They offer 5%. You have to have two accounts, and you have to have a direct deposit of $1,000, and you cannot have a negative balance on this bank account at any time during the month in order to get this 5%. 5% is huge, you guys, but as you can see, it has a lot of stipulations to that 5%. PIA Bank offers 4.6%. Check that one out. And Timber Bank offers 4.15%. And I think the minimum deposit in that is $1,000 minimum deposit. Now, those are the banks that I researched, checked out. You saw them on the screen. Go check them out for yourself if any of them rang a bell. I know 5% sounds great, but there are a lot of stipulations and the things that you have to do to get that 5%. If you can do that, great. Some of these banks may be regional, where you have to be in a certain region in order to get them. Check that out too. It may not work if you're in Texas. It may not work if you're in Minnesota or something like that. So check all of that out for yourself. Now, those are the banks. Another place that I want to tell you, in 2025, the S&P 500 yielded about 17%. So when I say the stock market yields more, the stock market does yield more. And the S&P 500 is the top 500 or so, sometimes a little over 517 or so, largest companies out there. And so when you put your market in this specific S&P 500 accounts, then that's what they yielded last year. That's not to say what they're going to yield this year, but they normally yield more than any bank out there. So it's a good place to look at putting your money. In the real estate market, the return on investment last year was between 6 and 8%. So that's another amount out there that you might want to look at. And it depends on where you are, because where I used to have one of my properties in Cleveland, Ohio, the return on real estate is much higher there than it is even here in Texas. So that's regional. Real estate is local. So wherever you are, you study that market. I cannot tell you what's going on in New York, California, because all these places are different builders, different things going on, different interest rates. But I am an expert when it comes to the Austin and surrounding areas. And then I have connections for the other areas. So keep those in mind also. Hopefully you've got out of this video that it's not about chasing the next big thing, but what are your goals and what do you want your money to do for you? We don't have a lot of time to keep fooling around with our money. We need to make wise money decisions. We need to sit down and have a strategy. What do I want my money to do? Do I want it to grow? Do I want to protect it? What in life, where am I in life? And that will answer a lot of questions as to where to put your money in 2026. I hope I've been helpful. Go back and look at these banks that I've done the research for you. I've done all the hard work. You go out there, do the easy work, and capitalize on what we talked about in this video. With that, I will see you in the next video.
Go Adrienne. Humble, go get a bless. Let's go.